how do we find the right contact? How do we engage decision makers and push the needle with the right decision makers? I think what's super important is when it comes to finding the right decision makers, recognize that if you do your go to market and your content strategy and sales enablement strategy and event strategy all aligned around positioning you, your team, and your company as the definitive experts in your area of specialization with what you do for your clients, a lot of great things will come on very, very many levels. For starters, more of the right people will find you. Second, the people that are clogging up your sales pipeline, your deals board, and not moving forward, they will be better nurtured because you'll have an opportunity to continue educating and building trust with them. You'll be able to gain a role in many, many of those 28 touch points between complete stranger and purchase decisions. So you, your team, your company has an enormous window of opportunity to be able to influence how they evaluate all of the options that are in front of you. And done well, this almost guarantees your company a place on the shortlist with this particular team, with this company for your product or service. And when it's done at an elite level, there may even be opportunities where your content and your events are so insanely helpful and have such a powerful impact on how they now compare the options that are in front of them that the short list collapses down to one. And by the time that that particular prospect or client jumps from awareness to consideration and consideration to decision, you have already won. You've effectively neutralized all of the competitive options because essentially your salespeople showed up and the interactions that they had with prospects and clients were so insanely valuable that it felt like free consulting. It didn't feel like they were engaging with a salesperson or account executive or sales development rep from an IT company or facilities company or a data center operator. Instead, your prospects or clients felt like they were talking to someone who was a highly paid consultant from like KPMG or Deloitte or EY or PwC or something like that. It was that incredibly valuable. That's part of the reason why I mentioned when we were talking about the role of CTOs and CIOs, some very recent conversations that I had with executives at Phoenix and Data Bank talking about how their sales teams really, they don't quite need to be at the level of a CTO, but they need to be educated enough and keeping their skills sharp enough that they can have really interesting, insightful conversations with the CTOs and certainly the people that work on their teams, their direct reports and second level reports. So yeah, like cybersecurity, being able to understand network infrastructure, racks, trends with power cooling, all that stuff, incredibly important. But yeah, at a high level, if you want to be able to find the right contacts, engage decision makers, your content and event strategy is incredibly important. Being able to understand their biggest goals, their biggest challenges, being able to deliver value at a really high level. And then it's a very simple ask to be able to, once they've converted on your landing page, say like, who else should be reading this? Who else should be watching this? Who else should attend? And you'd be shocked, that simple email, how effective it is on getting to the rest of the committee. And you'll know you're doing this well because when you go in for your first meeting, they are quoting you. They like used your ebook as the textbook. They used your webinars as the courses, and they're using your methodology to guide what they're doing going forward. So they've gotten such an outrageously high level of value from you during the pre-sales context that has paved the way for your content to spread throughout the decision committee. That's what it takes to find the right contacts, to find the right decision makers. And what screws up a lot of people with this is your content, like let's say, for example, the first person who consumes your content is pretty entry level, maybe even an intern, and they give up and like, this isn't working. I'm like, I don't know about that. So the thing is, it depends on the company size. Obviously, getting an entry level contact in a 5-person IT department and a 50-person company or 200-person company is very different than an entry level contact in a Fortune 1000 company. But at the end of the day, almost certainly someone in an entry level role was tasked with an assignment to go out and do research on this category. By building a relationship with that person and earning their trust by you being seen as the educational resource, you will almost certainly be able to get the lay of the land as to what's actually going on internally within that company. In many cases, that person will introduce you to their colleagues, their bosses. They pass your content around. So be really, really, really careful to not get too snotty, to not get too arrogant with all of this, is that any contact in a target account who is showing interest in your content, who's showing interest in your educational events, can have a profound impact in you getting to the rest of the decision committee, even if that person is just a supporting role and doesn't actually sit on the committee, but is reporting to someone who's on the committee.